Old Man Sarge here. I'm gonna do a playthrough with this game called Vikings 878, or 878 Vikings, I guess is the name of it. And it's already been probably on the internet, so there's probably a lot of different playthrough games, and not just this one. But I thought I'd put it on my channel anyway. So basically there's three different games, I believe, that are in this series or that are available from Academy Games, and one of them that I'd like to get a hold of is 1754, the French Indian War. And then there's another one down here, 1775, which is, I guess, my understanding from my friend, is one of the more popular of this series. They put some other games out as well, but the ones that are like this is what you see here. This one has plastic pieces. The other ones I think use wooden cubes, but little plastic pieces that represent the various sides. You can play up to 4 players with it. So you've got the Viking invaders, which are represented by one player that plays berserkers, the other player plays the Norsemen, and they're both on the same team. And then you've got the Housecarls, and then the Thanes for the English. And the goal of the game, if you can see down here, is for the Vikings. They want to win by getting the majority of cities by the time that the peace treaty is made. If they can get to 14 cities, they automatically win. And after the first turn, if they can't get anywhere, then they automatically lose. Like if they don't have any cities at all, like after the second turn, they automatically lose. So that's basically kind of how what the rules are for that. There's these little cubes which are drawn out of a bag, which determine the turn order. I believe the Norsemen start first. So there's essentially 8 full rounds, but then everybody has a turn. All 4 of these have a turn within those rounds. And there's dice for conducting combat, and each side has allotment of dice that is available to them, and they roll a dice for every unit that they have, but up to a maximum. So like the Norsemen have a maximum of 3 dice, Berserkers have a maximum of 2. I'll talk about these in a moment, but the Thanes have 3, kind of like the Norsemen, and the Housecarls 2. Now the dice are better for the Vikings overall. However, the English also have units that are constantly fighting. When you hit a certain territory, you'll draw a card and determine how many fyrds, which is represented by this card right here, might be in the area. So this says there's 4 fyrds. So there'll be 4 fyrds fighting against whatever the Viking incursions are. The Vikings are on this card here, down at the bottom here. It's just a representation of this guy. And this guy is Halfdan's great heathen host is what it's called. So he's the first one that comes in, and he comes into the North Sea as this army here. The English can get Alfred at some point in the game. I think it's on turn 5. He can potentially come in. But otherwise, every turn or every round, as soon as everybody's done and this pawn moves up, a new Viking horde can come in, and there's another 5 that can come in potentially during the game. So let's see. I'm just going to go over the rules real quickly so you can understand how it works. It's actually very straightforward. It's easy, and it's a pretty fun game. The cards, you have to have at least one movement card, and there's 2 kinds of movement cards. So I've already drawn them for the Thanes. you've got a regular movement card which just has a picture of that particular thane on there, and then it has the Treaty of Wedmore, which if this is drawn and you utilize this for your movement card, and then your ally, the housecarls, come out, it just tells you that you will check for the end of the game at round 5 or later. So if you have both of these out, the game can end. So if the housecarls put theirs out and these guys put theirs out, well, then the game will end on turn 5, at the end of round 5, I should say. The top tells you how many armies can move. So this can move 2 armies here, and then this is how many shires they can move, so 3. And each one of these white lines represents a shire. So it's all broken out. Some of them have cities, and a lot of them do not. Then there's special cards, which can break some of the rules. This basically says for all battles this turn, the Thane faction flee results count as hits. So they don't run away, they're going to stay and fight. Okay, so let me just run through the rules real quick. The first thing that happens is you reinforce. As I already described, the Vikings are coming on, here's their reinforcement. You draw one of these discs, or one of these cubes. English reinforcements are on the map, so it shows how much they get per one of these shires. Like this has 2 housecarls and 1 thane. So when it's the thane's turn, they put 1 thane here. When it's the housecarl's turn, they put 2 housecarls. And I'm probably mispronouncing all of this stuff, so pardon me for my misunderstanding of the English language as it is. Now, fled units will be placed in this box here. And fled units will be moved onto the board at the time of the turn as well. Movement. So when you draw a card like this, says move 2 armies 4 spaces, well, you decide which armies are going to be, and then you start moving them up to 4 spaces away for that particular card. The English cards have more armies but less movement. And the Vikings are much more mobile in the game. Leaders are the only ones that can pick up and drop off units along the way. When you conduct battles, so if this horde fights here, what would happen is you would draw a feared card, so you get 4. That allows you to roll 2 dice, 2 green dice. There's 1 green guy and 1 blue guy. So here's your defensive dice roll. And you would just roll the dice, and this of course is a hit on the dice. This is what they call a command away, and it allows you to move, like in this case, this housecarl could move his guy to here, even into another combat. And then these 2 are fleas, so that's what the flea looks like. So for the green and blue dice, if there's a flea, the unit just gets placed over into this open, or this round circle here. If it's a feared, it gets destroyed. The other thing is that the Vikings, they have more hits on their dice, less fleas. In fact, the red dice don't have any fleas. But the first, anytime that the English hit, the first hit has to be placed upon a berserker if there's one available. And then the rest of them can go, after that you can decide. Every time you capture a city, you'll take this and place it on the map. This signifies the Vikings are in control of that particular city. Leaders are the only ones that can pick up and drop off troops along the way as they move. And if they have to fight in a particular territory for more than 1 turn, it counts as one of their movement points. So if they go in there just 1 turn, that's just 1. But if it takes 2 turns to take the territory, that's 2. And at the end of their turn, you draw your cards back up to 3. And if you do not have a movement card, then you shuffle everything back into shuffle it back into the, not the discard deck, but the draw pile, and you draw 3 again. And then you have to have a movement card. Yeah, and then like I said, 14 is automatic victory for the Vikings. Otherwise, it's this is the threshold here, 9, and I can't remember if it needs to be 9. If the Vikings win, if there are 9 or more Viking control markers on the map. So this is the crown, which signifies if they're on this, if this is open, then the Vikings win the game. So the English got to keep them less than 9 cities. And then there's clarification of all the particular cards, and there's a couple different scenarios. It's a really I think it's a pretty well done book, a rule book. There's only a couple places that I have to like dig, even though it's like all shown out here, to try to find particular rules. So anyway, those are the rules real quickly. This is the game. We're going to do a gameplay of it. I'm going to play both sides, and that's why I'm going to keep the cards open, and I'll show you what's going on. I think it's a great beer and pretzels game. I don't think there's you don't really need to be serious about this game. So I'll be right back, and we'll start off with the Viking invasion of England. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start. So the Vikings are going to come in and invade. Now the North Sea stretches from this line right here all the way up to Durham, England. So there's the line in which they can invade. Now in the future there will be Vikings that can come in on any coast, whether it's the English Channel or the Irish Sea, or even the Severn Sea. So, but I think that the best place to invade, just for conservative sake, is the north. You can subdue the north first for the Vikings, and then come down and put pressure on the Saxons. Because coming in here, it might look like it's pretty easy, but you run out of power pretty quickly. So the first thing that happens is you have to play a card. The only movement card that the Norsemen have is this one. So move 2 armies 4 spaces. They only have 1 army. So that's the army they're going to move. So 2 armies 4 spaces. They're going to start by invading here. I could start in New York perhaps, but I'm going to start at the very north. Just get everything under control that's on the map. So the first thing that happens is the English draw Feards, and they get 5 of them. So that's quite a force of peasants that'll be facing off against the the Vikings. Now they normally get to roll first. There's a few things, like this is during an English battle. The Norsemen could use this card. All Viking ignores the first hit result of each battle, shield wall, and then feigned retreat. Before this battle, the English army resolves 1 battle dice, counting only flee results. Now, you might want to use a card, because if you use a card, then you're going to have a better chance of drawing a movement card. But what might happen is if I draw this next card, and I have non-movement cards, I could pull up a non-movement card and I have to shuffle them all again. I just don't think it's a good use to waste a card at this point, so they're not going to. So the English get 2 of the dice, the yellow dice, and 1 green. So we're just gonna start the rolls here. So what happened was, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll let you know, 2 flees and a hit. The first hit has to be a berserker, so I'm taking one of the red guys off of here. And then the green guy flees, so he's here. And then the yellow flees. When they flee, they just go back into they don't go anywhere. So then the Vikings hit, and they have a full allotment. And they need to get 4 hits. And they get 3 hits. So I got 3 hits, a command, which I can't use because we don't have a city to move to, and a retreat. So one of these guys flees into this open area, and then there's 3 hits. Now, the significance of that is, now I've removed one of the movement points. So I can move now 3 spaces after this. or that's, yeah, 1. So 1, 2, I got 2 left. I can move 4 spaces. I got 2 left that I can do. And the fear doesn't hit anything. I got a blank. And the Vikings commanded away and killed the last of the fears. So, that's it. The Vikings captured this city. So now that's 1, 2, they can go 2 more spaces. They have to leave guys behind, and I don't really know what the best force to leave behind, but I guess I'll just leave a berserker and a couple of guys just in case to hold on to it. And then the last 2 moves, I'm going to go over to this city, draw another feared card. Oh, I could play a card for green, but they have improved training. They treat flee results as not flee, but I just don't think it's a good idea to use the cards at this moment. Only 2 feareds come in, so then they'll roll their dice, and they get 1 hit with the feared, so that's a berserker that must die. And then they can command away, but they can't because there's no allied troops nearby to command to, and they have a flee, so 1 feared flees. And then the Vikings strike back, and one of their Norsemen is going to flee, and then they defeat the English with the other 2. So that's 2 cities, and they're done. So that's the Norseman turn. That's how quickly this game kind of moves. So then we go to this little bag and we pull out the next cube. And it's green. So the Thanes are going to get to go next. This guy's going to be able to be put on his reinforcements. And then simply, oh, I have to draw a card for the English. They did get a movement card. 2 armies moved 2. That isn't great for them. So wherever I have these little boxes, I place the reinforcements. So London and Canterbury, Chelsea, Winchester, Exeter, Lichfield, Leicester, Manchester, and York. So now they can move, I can either move 2 armies 3 spaces or 4 armies 2 spaces. And the problem with putting out the treaty card immediately is if the blue draws a treaty card and that's the only thing they can play, then the game's going to definitely end after the 5th round. But the other card's kind of nice to have. I think maybe we'll just use the other card. So we're going to use that one. 4 armies move 2 spaces. And what I like to do, oh, I get this other reinforcement in. I guess we're going to try to defend the best we can against incoming Vikings. So 4 armies move 2. So here's 1 army. Here's army 2. I'm going to build up London, and you can move the other guys with you. There's army 3, and here's army 4. I'm just going to mass in London right now. I'm going to leave 1 guy behind though, because then you can draw the feareds. So maybe this isn't the best thing. I'll move this guy over to here, so that way all my little cities are protected and I can draw feareds. And I drew 1 army can move 3 spaces. Those cards really start to limit what you can do. The next one I draw is blue. So now I get blue reinforcements. They didn't fight anybody. So we'll put it in York and Lichfield and Thetford, London, 2 in Winchester, and 1 in Exeter, and there's 1 more I missed, which is in Lichfield. Or did I? No, I think I moved him out of Lichfield. Yeah, I did, so I don't want to do that. Okay. So they have to play a movement card. The only movement card they have is 3 armies move 2 for blue. So 3 armies moving 2. Maybe we'll go up and kind of put some an Elmham. Elmham. 3 armies, so we're going to go up to here, and we're going to go up to here. So if if the Vikings want to come down and try to take out Mercia, we're going to defend it. And the last one is red. And so blue draws a card, and it's a movement card. 4 armies move 1. So red, they're going to leave. I think they'll leave the same kind of allotment. I don't know how smart this is, but a berserker and a couple little Vikings. And we could do increased morale, which is replace up to 2 Norsemen with the berserker units in any one Viking army. Yeah, let's do it. People are probably looking at me going, why are you doing this? But we're going to replace these 2 with berserkers. So, because berserkers have better dice rolls. Our movement is going to be 2 armies can move 4 spaces. We're only going to move this guy 4 spaces. So here's 1, 2. So he's going to conduct a battle. I didn't use the rebellion yet, and I could use this. So I'm going to do this during a Thane battle. It says, for all battles this turn, Thane factions flee results count as hits. So, and then we draw feared. We get 4 peasants to help us out here against the... And I think really the main thing that I'm trying to, oops, that's 5, trying to accomplish is to basically make it so he's bogged down. He can't move very far. All right, so 2 yellow, 3 green, and the green dice again count as fleas count as hits this battle. So there's a hit because it's a flea. There's 2 more hits. Ooh, wow, they just did a number on them. 5 hits and 1 feared leaves. So 5 hits on the Vikings. 1 has to be a berserker. So there's 5. The Vikings are at full dice, and they hit 3 times and 2 commands which they can't use. So to try to maximize my dice, I'm going to take off 2 Thanes and 1 feared. So now we're going to round 2, and again, the reason that this is important to remember is movement 1, movement 2, movement 3. Right now he can only go 1 more space if he wins this combat next turn, which I don't think that he will. And then here's the roll for the... Okay, so feared flees, 1 feared hit. There's 3, and this counts as a hit. There's 4 hits, and the housecarl, he leaves. Comes back to fight another day. So 4 hits on the Vikings. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're taking 2 berserkers and 2 Norsemen off so that they have a full allotment of dice. And they received 3 hits and a flea, so 1 Norseman going to leave to come fight another day. A command doesn't matter, but 3 hits leaves only 1 dice for the Thanes. Now, he can't move any further because the battle's gone on too long. So command away, which they will do. They will save their last guy, and they can either bring him down here to Chester or go over to York. I think we'll put him in Chester. But the Vikings did capture Manchester. So Manchester is in the Vikings' hands now. And that is the turn. So that's turn 1. Oh, I forgot to draw. Oh, I don't draw a Thane card because that's the end of their turn. But the Berserkers do draw. They got a treaty card, so... And they got Viking ships, which allows them to move, like for example, he's here, he can move anywhere on this coast as one move. Or if he was up here, he can move all the way down to here as one move. So a movement card and a Viking move card. Alright, so we move on to the second round. The 4 dice, the 4 cubes go back into here, into the bag. Mix them up. And the first cube is the Norseman. So the first one that happens, either the Norseman or the Berserker side, they draw a card. And this one is just a basic reinforcement card. No invasion this round, placed as reinforcements. So they get 9 Norsemen and 2 Berserkers. Well, I mean, I guess that reinforces our great host here, Halfdan's great host. But we don't get a new army on the board. So. Okay, so 9 Norsemen come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 2 Berserkers. And we're going to put them in the major army. We're going to put them all there, except we'll do what we did before. Leave 2 Berserkers behind in a... So there's the reinforcements. That's the only card, by the way, like that. The rest of them are brand new Viking armies. Okay, so the Norsemen, they have a shield wall, they have feigned retreat before this battle. Might be a good thing to do. So where should they go? Well, let's look at their movement cards. They have a very shallow movement card. It's 2 armies can move 2 spaces. Which means he can either just go to York, or he could come down and threaten Lichfield. Which is probably, I don't know. York would get Northumbria under the Viking control completely. So that's a hard call. Oh, there's 3 more. The fleed guys can join the army. So we could attack, you know, down here too. I think just York. Just York. But I might leave another Viking behind here in Manchester. So 2 armies move 2. So we'll go to here. We're going to use our feigned retreat. Before this battle, the English army resolves 1 battle dice, counting only flee results. So we'll use this card. That way I can have, that way I have a better chance of holding on to the shield wall card instead of having to discard it because I didn't get a movement card with whatever the next card's drawn is. The English, they have rebellions. They don't have any other battle cards that they can really use. So they draw a feared. That's 3 feareds. They're going to come and help defend York. So the 2 yellows, 2 greens this time, and 2 blues. Now, the card says that they have to feigned retreat. They have to roll this. Only flee counts this roll. So 1 feared leaves. That didn't really affect their roll at all. Okay, so here's their roll. So lots of retreats. So 2 Thanes retreat and a feared. So the Thanes again go into this here. The feared goes away, and then 2 hits. One of them has to be a Berserker. So 1, 2. Vikings have full allotment. They only need 3 hits to win this fight. And they get 4. However, they did roll one flee, so one of these Norsemen goes into this box up here. And they have taken York. So York is now under Viking control. And then we draw 2 cards. The next one was a movement card, so I guess we didn't have to use that. But who knows? You don't know when you're actually playing how it's going to work out. And the next one I draw is green. The Thanes get to go now. Alright, so first we get some reinforcements into the various cities for the Thanes. So they get it down here in Leicester, Litchfield. They get one in Thetford. They get one in Oxford. They get one in London. One in Canterbury. One in Chelsea. They get one in Winchester and 2 down here in Exeter. I guess. I'm completely messing that up. And then they get these 2 guys back. So we could counterattack with them, or we could just hold on. I think we're going to hold on to the Housecarl's turn. So we're going to put 2 here in Litchfield to boost that defenses up. We have to use a card, and I think we're going to use this one that says move 1 army 3 spaces. So we can move 1 army 3 spaces. So we could we could move this guy from Winchester with 1 Housecarl up to Lancaster. I don't know. Leicester? So we'll move it up there. So green's done. So green draws 2 cards. They get Escape to the Wild and Improved Training. For all battles this turn, again, the same one we had last time. It's actually a good card. Escape of the Wild. After an English battle dice roll and before the Viking battle dice roll, withdraw all English units to an adjacent shire not occupied by Vikings. That's pretty good. You get 1 free attack and then you get to retreat. So the blue, that's the Housecarl. So they only have 1 movement card. It's this one right here. 4 armies move 1 space. But let's get our reinforcements first. And if you run out of reinforcements, then you run out of reinforcements. Once you're out of these pieces in your tray, you're out. So I don't think I'll run out this turn. But Thetford, 1 in Litchfield, 1 in London, 2 in Winchester, and 1 in Exeter. And then we get our 1 guy back to put anywhere. I believe it's anywhere that there is already a blue, but could be wrong. So we're going to put it here in Lincoln. So 4 armies move 1 space. I'm going to keep going with the philosophy of having max dice. So I'm going to move 2 down to Chelsea. I'm going to move 1 to Oxford. That's 2 armies. Then this army will start moving up. In fact, we're going to go like here and here. So there's the 4. We'll leave 1 guy in Exeter, but we're going to try to like block. I'll do it like this. We're going to try to block these the avenues. This is impassable because it's a swamp. It's only used in some of the scenarios. Alright, so that's it. Oh wait, we got these rebellion cards. We might want to use them. Remove 1 Viking unit from a shire, that then draw a feared card. Immediately initiate a battle against any remaining Vikings in that shire. Yeah, let's do it. In fact, we can do it twice. So let's start a rebellion here and up here. So these 2 go away, and then we draw a feared card. 2 feareds are going to do a rebellion. Now let me just check the rules real quick to find out who rolls first in this rebellion. They actually have an explanation of the cards in the back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 1 does not say who does the battle. So I would say that the Vikings are defending because it's the other player's turn. So here's the Viking defense. That's 2 hits. That's enough to kill the 2 peasants that revolted in Manchester. So what about the ones up there in Carlisle? I guess, I don't know. There's 4 feards there. So, and this, they reduced them enough because I actually have 1 fewer Viking up there that it's not going to be, the Vikings aren't going to be able to just completely get rid of them in 1 turn. So here's the Viking defense. They got 2 commands which they cannot use. Here's the feards attacking. They hit 1 time, which has to be the berserker, and one of their feards flees. So then the Viking 1 Norseman is fighting. And then I could have viewed like a shield wall or something, but I just don't think it's worth it right now. So they got rid of 1 feared. 2 hits. The feards have 1, and the way that the rules read, the feards don't stay on the table, is if there's no Vikings there, then they freed that city. It's free again. Okay, so that was the 2 rebellions, and I moved everybody. So then, because I have no cards, I get to draw 3. I already have a movement card, so, and there we go. We have both. Now obviously if you're playing with 2 players, you're not going to know if the other player has the treaty or not. But in this case, we know that both treaties are there. So they have control of ending the game at the end of round 5, if they wanted to. And then the berserkers go. I could use the Viking ships and come and like invade London. I don't know if that's like the smart thing to do. I would want to leave guys behind here. You know what? I think we're going to use Viking ships, but we're not invading London. We're going to go, 2 armies can move 4 spaces, and we're going to move down to here. We're going to take East Anglia over for the Vikings. There's no defensive cards. Oh, they could do Into the Wild, or they could do, but there's only 2 guys, so no. We're going to fight this out. 5 feards defending against the Viking raid here. So, 2 yellow, 1 green, and 1 blue dice. And the roll is 1 hit, a flee from the feared, nothing with the other one, 1 hit, which has to be a berserker, and then a command away with the blue. And I think that's what we're going to, yeah, we're going to do that, so we don't lose him. The Vikings don't have full allotments. They're down to 1 red and the rest black. They're light on berserkers right now. They get 1 hit, they can't use the commands, and 1 flee. So, and like here's now where you're thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't have retreated with that house Carl. Could have maybe defeated this Viking force on the coast here. So here's the next roll. 1 flee with him, and 2 hits with the with the feards. They did really well. So then the Vikings roll against them. They again not rolling very well. 1 hit, that's 1 feared, and 1 flee. So 1 more Norseman leaves. And we're down to 2 feareds. 1 flees and the other 1 hits. And then we're down to 2 black and 1 red. Halfden's great host is not very great anymore, but he does get the city. And because it took so long, round after round after round, he obviously can't go any further. But he did capture that town. And that's round 2. See how fast this game moves? Obviously, if you're playing with multiple people, or you might be thinking a little bit harder. They got a movement card, and they also got increase morale, which is change out some regular Norsemen with berserkers. Now, at this point in the game, a lot of times the English player needs to start looking around the board and just seeing if there's a possibility that they can take out a Norse army. You know, like if they can take all the cities out, because they can automatically win if they can get all of them, but that's obviously not possible. But they could go get York back, they could take Manchester back, but they're not going to get a chance because the berserkers get to go. And the new army is Bjorn Ironside. Bjorn's coming in. He has 11 Norsemen. 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 Norsemen, 4 berserkers. And I think I'm going to use this card. Replace up to 2 Norsemen with berserkers. So taking these 2 Norsemen off, putting 2 more berserkers on. So he's got 6 berserkers. So our ally down below, he has he's got to hold that little town down there, but they got enough power they could probably take him out of there. So we could come invade like here. We've got 2 armies that can move 3, 1, 2, so we could take this and protect him, I guess. But then, if we don't do anything about this, then we face, and by the way, Bjorn comes in on the North Sea, I think. Invade in the North Sea coast. Or we could come in here and try to save York from being recaptured. I think we're going to go, Halfdan's going to have to fight off whatever English invaders there are. We're going to go after this. And should we use our 2 armies move 4? Because he'd probably like to get in and attack Leicester too. I think we are. We're going to use the first of the treaty cards. So, but we're going to use, obviously it's a movement card. So 2 armies move 4. So the Fyrds get drawn, and there's 3 of them. So 3 Fyrds in to defend. And now I don't have a big enough army to I really want to use the Improved Training card. However, I think I might use Escape into the Wilds. We're going to use Escape into the Wilds for the Thanes. So what that means is basically they're going to make 1 roll. So 2 blue, 2 green, and 2 yellow. And then they're going to roll this die, and whatever happens, happens. They get 1 hit, 2 commands, which I don't really know if the commands matter at this point because of what I'm going to do, and a flee with the, and 3 hits, which one of them has to be a berserker. So that's our hits. Now we could command guys away, but what we're going to do is we're just going to flee into here. So we're fleeing back to that shire. So the Vikings have captured the city on movement point 1. Now they're going to have a very bloody battle with yellow. And they don't have any cards to use. And this is where Improved Training is going to come in. You know what? We're going to leave our defense force here. We're not going to fall for the English ploy. And so that was 1, 2. So we have 2 more movement points left. We could go hit London, which I think is what we're going to do. Hitting London with Bjorn. I don't know if that's the greatest move. But this army is just so huge is the problem. Or I could just stay there. but I think we're going to go hit London. Okay, so the Fyrds in London, there are 3 of them defending, ready to rise up and fight for the English soil. So there's 3. Because that was 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're going to go down to there. They are going to then use their improved training. Because we want to make sure that Bjorn knows that we don't appreciate his presence. So here we go. Here's the English. 2 fleas from the Fyrds, so that's not part of that improved training. However, I got 2 fleas from the Fyrds, or the Thanes, but they don't have to count them, so they get 5 hits. So one has to be a berserker. So they'll do this so they have the full allotment of dice. Oops, I put them in the wrong tray. So they took 5 off. Here's the Viking fight. 1 flea with the Norseman. And 4 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to try to... normally I don't take house carls off before the Fyrds, but in this case I want to maximize the damage on Bjorn Ironside. So here's the 2 left. They got 2 hits because one of them was a flea. They'll take 1 of each. So here is the fights back. And they're 2 hits. So London has been raided by Bjorn Ironsides. Captures London. But he's really weak. And that card goes away. And then the Berserkers draw 2 more cards. And they get one here called Ceolwulf. If any Ceolwulf Shire is in Viking control, eliminate any English units in any other Ceolwulf Shire. And move up to 2 Viking units on the map to the empty Shire. And that's a throne. So I'm trying to see that this is a Ceolwulf. And Lichfield is. And I'm not sure the history behind this. And Leicester is. So those are the areas for that particular card. But we have to pretend like no one knows that they have it. Alright. But both armies, both Viking armies, are rather weak right now. But the Norsemen get to go. So 4 reinforcements from the fleeing spot get to come on the board. And the Norsemen have shield wall. That's during an English battle, so it's not this one. So 2 armies are going to move 4 spaces. That's the card we have. But I've got to decide. I need to probably just leave 1 behind. London's lost. I think that we'll be hard pressed to get London back. I mean, to hold on to London, but we'll leave a guy there just to. You know what? Maybe Bjorn will go down to Canterbury. I mean, we could go here, but his army isn't big enough. And this one here, he probably won't win either. He's probably going to not live. But we'll go down here anyway. Well, the Thanes don't have any cards, and blue can't use any even if they had them because there's no blue units in this army down here. But we do get a Fyrd. 5 of them. So the Thanes are getting the peasants to rise up to fight against the invaders here. Alright, so 2 and 2. 2 of these leave, and then they got 2 hits. One of them has to be a berserker. And this is where my cat attacks. Okay. So then the Vikings attack back with 3 Vikings. 3 Norsemen. And they get to command away 3 of them, which they will. So that, all they did was lose a piece in that little exchange. And then they get to draw a card. So now it is going to be Green's turn. Green only can do 1 movement order. That's part of the treaty. 2 armies move 3 spaces. Let's give them their reinforcements first. So they get 1 in Thiefold, 1 in Leicester, 1 in Lichfield, 1 in Oxford, 1 in Canterbury, 1 in Chelsea, 1 in Winchester, 2 in Exeter, I guess, and 1 more, which 2 armies move 3 spaces. We need to take York back. I think so. 2 armies move 3 spaces. We're going to march out with that 2 spaces, or 3. 2 armies move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. We're going back to York. There, and then we'll leave 1 behind. I don't know if I have enough power. Actually, we need to take Yor now, I think. He's got 4. Or we go take out Health Dad's. Let's do that. Let's go after him. I'm going to leave 1 Thane behind. We're going to take out Halfdan's Great Post because it's not so great anymore. It's only 3. So those are the 2 attacking places. Okay. So here's, and I could use Shield Wall, but I'm not going to. Well, how much do I care about Health Dens remaining? It's either that or I lose York. You know what? We're going to use Shield Wall. For all battles this turn, Viking armies ignore first hit results of each battle. Of each battle, yeah, we're using Shield Wall. Okay, so here's the defensive roll. 2 hits. The Norsemen got 2 hits, so 1 Harsuckle and 1 Thane. So then the Thane, Harsuckle, and the 2 Housecarls and 1 Thane. Roll back. The Thane flees. The Housecarl gets a hit, has to be a Berserker. And they can command away with another one, which they will. So then there's 2 Norsemen in defense. Oh, I forgot. They didn't get 2 hits. The first one can be ignored. Alright. They kill him. So that didn't work out. The other attack up there, they have 2 Norsemen and a... Yeah, wow, Shield Wall. Kind of a good card. 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. So 2 Housecarls and 2 Thanes. They need to get 2 hits just to get 1. They get 3 hits. So they get 2 of them. The Berserker has to be 1. So York is probably going to fall. But he does get another hit, so we'll take out a Thane. So Housecarl, they need 2 hits. They do, they get him, they get 3. So they have captured York back. York falls, the Vikings lose it. But they did save their army here. Halfdan's, he defeated an attack. Alright, so then Green draws 3 cards because they don't have any. And they get a card called Spy. One English army may move up to 2 shires to join in the battle. And then they get Thane Leadership. Each English army may move up to 2 extra shires this turn. Ah, okay. And then the last cube is obviously blue. So we'll give blue their reinforcements first. They get 1 in Thiefold. They get 2 in Winchester. They get 1 in Exeter. They get, oh, I'm out of guys, so I have to choose. Because I could put them down here in Lichfield or up there in York. I'll put them in Lichfield. Blue will use, now see, I could throw out, now that I've seen my partner, if I was playing with the partner, I've seen him throw out his treaty. I could throw out another treaty and make the game last till turn 5. But I think the smart thing would be to hold on to it and just throw it out when I want to. So I could do 3 armies move 1 space or 4 armies move 2 spaces. I think I'll do 4 armies move 2 spaces. 4 armies move 2 spaces. We got York back, but I think we need to take out Bjorn. So 4 armies. This will be 1 army. Moves 2 spaces. We'll leave 1 green behind, or we'll leave a blue behind. This will be the 2nd army. So we got 2 more armies. We might as well leave those 2 spaces there. And this guy will move to Winchester. There, that's the armies. There's no cards for black, and for the Norsemen in black, and no cards for blue. And there's no cards for red, except for they have a card, but they can't use it until their turn. So Bjorn has 4 Norsemen defending against that entire attack, but he can't command away, but he does hit twice. So we'll take out 2 Thanes. Actually, I think it might be a good idea to take out the House Carl, since there's nothing over here right now, so they can get reinforcements. Now, full allotment of dice roll, the Thanes and the House Carls. There's 2 retreats for the Thanes and 3 hits. So that's 1, 2, 3. Bjorn has 1 dice left. He hits. I'll take another House Carl. Okay. They are still at their full allotment going at him. They just need 1 hit. And they got a flea with the House Carl, and then the rest of them hit. So Bjorn is no longer controlling London. And then up there, we have a Berserker and 2 regular guys, 2 Norsemen. And they got 3 hits, so they did really well. This time we're going to take off 3 Thanes. 2 House Carls and 1 dice. So 1 House Carl will flee, and they get 2 hits. 1 has to be a Berserker. They have 1 left. The Viking hits. We'll take off the Thane. The House Carl sees if he can take it back. He doesn't. He flees from the combat, and the Vikings hold on to Manchester. And that was turn 3, round 3. So now we go to round 4. And blue would get to draw a card. And they got nothing but movement cards right now. Alright. This game's going rather fast. The Vikings have only got 4 cities right now. But red is going to be able to draw another horde. Oh, Bjorn is gone. And the new guy is Ivar the Boneless. 13, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 6 berserkers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's nobody over here, so it's just gotta get Ivar. Ivar has a different kind of raven symbol, and he goes in the North Sea. So far, nobody has evaded from any other coast. So now, what would be the best thing for us to do with Ivar? We could go and hit the south, try to hurt them badly maybe, and so they don't get reinforcements in London and Canterbury. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we do that. Maybe we like go up this way. We can go come in 1, 2, 3, 4, but we wouldn't be able to go all the way down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our plan. That's Ivar's plan. He's coming in at Kent, Canterbury. Gonna try to hurt them a little bit. I mean, we could like come here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, which might be a better move because we don't want to build them back up in York. So yeah, we've changed plans. So Ivar's not going to sail down there. He's sailing up to York. He's going to go here. He's going to go here. He's going to go here, and he's going to go here. That's his plan. I mean, this might be a better plan because it knocks out 1, 2, 3 reinforcement cities. This will knock out 2, but it'll also push the English into fighting a frontal fight instead of... Oh, and we got this card. It says, if any Cowles Shire, which we have 1, is Viking controlled, eliminate any English units in another shire and move up to 2 Viking units on the map to the emptied shire. Wow. Let's see. Eliminate any units in another shire. Yeah. Heck yeah. We might even have to go up here. We'll eliminate all these guys from Leicester, and then we'll move a Viking, or we'll move 2 guys in there, and then we'll place our claim marker on it. Oh, that was a good card. Now we can go, and we still, yeah. I mean, now that we're kind of getting this Mercia and Northumbria under control, let's do 2 armies move 4 spaces. So we'll choose this army and this army. Not that he's going to go anywhere. So York is the first place. There's no defensive cards. Because they're both... Oh wait. 1 English army may move up to 2 shires to join this battle. There's nobody in range. Okay. So we draw a feared. We get 3 of them. And they're in... So they roll 2 yellow dice, 1 green, 2 blue. They took York back, but another Viking horde has landed. And that scared the crap out of all of these people in York. So 1 feared retreats, 1 Thane retreats, 1 Housecarl retreats, 1 can command away but he can't, and 1 feared hits, and it has to be a berserker. And so they only got 1 hit, and the Vikings get 3, and they can command twice, but there's nobody to command. So, the Vikings have won that battle. Now, I'm just going to leave 1 guy behind. So that's 1, 2, here's turn 3, 4 feareds in Chester. Against that huge our force, and there's no blue dice in this one, there's just green. Now I could use that card, but I'm not going to. I'm going to hold on to it. Here's the defensive dice. And luck has gone completely away from the English. Both of these Thanes retreat and 2 of the Feareds retreat. They rolled fleas on every one of the dice. So then the Vikings roll back. And they get 1 flea, so 1 Norseman has to go over to here. And then they get 2 hits and 2 commands, but 2 hits is all they need, and they're not going to command away. So now they're going to leave 2 Norsemen behind, and they're going to move on to Litchfield. Now here's where I could use the card. I could use the card to move these guys up to Litchfield. I think we'll do that. So we're going to use the spy card. 1 English army may move up to 2 shires to join the battle. So Oxford sends in reinforcements. They draw a Feared, which is 2. So they get 2 Feareds. And they got a full allotment of dice. 2 yellow, 3 green, 2 blue. Oh, I forgot to put the city out for Chester. And the luck is just going against the English. Oh my word. So there's 1 retreat from a housecarl, 3 retreats from Thanes, 2 retreats from the Feareds that came in to fight, and 1 hit, which has to be a berserker. And here's the attack from the Vikings. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, that's all that's needed. They get 1 flea, however, of 1 guy, and they have killed these 2. And now the Vikings are at 7 cities, and their horde is rather large still. Ivar did really well. I mean, probably should have come in down here, I guess, but you never know. So right now, Northumbria is completely in control of the Vikings, and Mercia, except for Oxford and Hereford, as far as cities go, are in control of the Vikings as well. And red draws 2 cards. They get 1 called Viking Fort. For this battle, the Viking army ignores 1 hit result from each English battle dice roll. It's like the shield wall, only can only be used during the the English attack. Wow. Wow. Green. The Thanes get to go. I could use leadership, but I think I'm going to save it until Alfred comes in. Things aren't looking too good for the English. Okay, so first we'll give them the reinforcements. They get 1 in Theofold, they get 1 in Canterbury, 1 in London, 1 in Chelsea, 1 in Winchester, and 2 in Exeter. Now the reinforcements they get are from all over this, off of here, and there's quite a few. We need to do a delaying action because this is a city, so we'll put 2 there. We'll put another one in Theofold, so we've got full allotment of dice. And then, oh, I get 1 in Oxford. I don't think I put 1 there. And then, oh wait, they have 9 cities. I didn't put a city out for York. I guess build up a defense against these armies? Yeah, I don't know. You start rolling bad, what do? We'll just spread them out. We've got a counterattack though. But our cards are horrible. Our card is 4 armies move 1 space. Literally, we can't do anything. So, 4 armies move 1 space. So we'll move these 2 to here for 1. We'll move 2, 3 to get some reinforcements into block. And I think we'll move from Winchester. No, we better stay in Winchester. It's just that somebody could invade down on this coast down here, but blue will get to go first, so maybe we just beef up Winchester a little bit. Okay, so green is done. They draw a movement card and another movement card. 3 armies move 1 space, 3 armies move 2 spaces. So green has finished. This isn't... Vikings really technically need 1 city more to win the game, but they would have to hold it until either the treaties come out and you're past turn 5, or somebody does that. So the Harsuckles, boy, things turned around on the English here. A couple really bad rolls really turned them. So they get 1 for Thiefold, 1 for London, 2 for Winchester, and 1 for Exeter. Then they get these all these guys. And I don't want to throw the treaty out. Well, because then it'll... Well, I don't think it's a good idea to throw a treaty out. So, let's see. London will defend. Winchester will defend. Canterbury will defend. We'll split them out between those two. What do we have? 2 armies move 2, 3 armies move 1. I think we need the 2 armies move 2, because we have to counterattack here. So 3 armies move 2. I think we're going to send... 1, 2 up to Lincoln. We'll move up 2 and 2, and then we'll move 5 to London, or to Leicester. So that's what the English will do. So that's 2 armies. They have that is 2 armies. That's all I can do. Okay, so the Viking here, I'm not going to use Viking forts on this attack. He commands away. He'll command over to here. So they took this city back. But now they got to fight in this other city, and they have reinforcements. So 2 Vikings and 1 Berserker. 3 hits. I'll take all 3 things. So then the 2 Housecarls will fight. They get 2 hits. 1 has to be the Berserker. They might be able to win this fight. Viking back. He flees. They do. They took it back. So they got 2 cities back that turn. But the Norsemen get to go, and they can put these 3 guys on, and they're going to put them in Halfdan's army. The great host has been reinforced. He's still alive and kicking. I'll put some defenders here, and the Norsemen are going to use this card. 2 armies move 3 spaces. So that's going to be these 2 armies. Well, I'm declaring those 2 armies, but I'm not actually going to move Halfdan's army. This guy's just too big still. But 3 spaces. I'm going to do something a little risky. I'm going to go down and take London because I can just walk in, because that's 1, 2, and then my 3rd move I'm going to go to Canterbury, and that'll take out more reinforcement spots from the English. I'm getting 2 cities, but I'm losing 2, but I'm only losing 1 reinforcement spot. Plus I have another Viking horde coming in. So that's the plan. So we go up to here, we leave behind 1 Viking in London. And then we go here for our 3rd movement. And he's not moving anywhere. Okay, so the Fjord's drawn. That's 5. It's like the English should just defend, but they can't just defend. They have to counterattack here and there. So 5. So 2 yellow, 3 green, 2 blue. Full allotment of dice. And the Vikings can't use any cards. Nobody can use any cards. And the rolls just aren't getting much better. So I got to retreat 1 Thane. I got to retreat 2 Feareds. I got 3 hits, and I can command away. So 1 has to be a Berserker. So that's how they're going to do it. But now, do I want to command away one of these guys? And I think we don't. We're going to stay put and fight. So, here's Ivar's fight. He hits 3 times. So that's 3... Yeah, that's... Well... Yeah, 3 Feareds. And 1 command away, which I could use, but I'm not going to. So now we don't get any feared dice, but we have 3 green and 2 blue. And now the English are mad. They hit 4 times. That's enough to eliminate the Norsemen. Ivar, unless he gets 2 commands, he doesn't. He gets 1 command and he gets 1 hit. The Thane will die. And does he want to command? He'll command 1 Berserker away. Because it's just not looking good. Because they still have a full allotment of dice except for the Feareds. And look at that. Enough hits to kill off. Ivar disappears from the game in Canterbury. And they can command the Thanes, because they got 3 of them, over to here. They'll command 1 over to there. Alright, we're going on at turn 5. Alfred will be available. Oh boy. Let's see, I only got 2 Housecarls for him. And 3 Thanes. But that might not be the case when he usually gets 4 Housecarls. But he's not even on the board yet. It depends on how these are drawn. If I draw a green or a blue, then he will come in to the he'll come on. Oops. Alright. Here's the dice for... Oh wait, I gotta draw the cards for the Viking ships. And the treaty. And the Norsemen get to go first. Ugh. So now, here's where you got to the strategy involved. We'll see who this Viking is, first of all. It is Rollo. Rollo comes in with 4 Berserkers. He's coming in from any coast. And 11 Norsemen. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we've already got 1 treaty out. I could put out this other one. 2 armies move 4 spaces. And the whole idea would be, at the end of this turn, if the Vikings can get 2 cities and hold on to them. But the problem is, I know I can get these 2. Possibly that one. Nope, I can't get that one. But I can come in from any coast. I can only get 2 cities. And this force down here in Winchester is huge. He could join up with Halfdan's force. And they could like move over to here. They could get 1 city. I just don't think it's worth the risk at the moment. So we're going to do the normal 2 armies move forward. And where does Rollo want to go to? Rollo has, he's the only one that doesn't have the bird. It's a wolf. But I think Rollo, I think maybe we'll come down this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he can go, and I can use a Viking ship card, and he can go defend York. So I think that's what that's the plan. So he's gonna leave one behind, but he's not gonna move yet. Rollo's gonna come in, and he's gonna come in here. So that's one for Rollo, one for this guy. Two for Rollo. And Halfden's going to stay up there in York. So 2 movement spaces for Rollo. We draw a card. It's 2 Feards. There's a full allotment of dice against Rollo. Trying to capture East Anglia. We got 2 fleas, so 2 Feards, or 2 Thanes, pardon me, flea. We got nothing on 1 dice. We got a command away, which doesn't do any good. We got 3 hits, and one of them has to be Berserker. Okay. Rollo has a full allotment of dice. He can command a Berserker away, but I don't think he wants to. He gets 4 hits. So they'll take 2 Feards, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to do like this so they can have Alfred fully up. Okay, so the defending dice is a Thane retreats, and then 1 hit with the other one. But see, this is a second round, so it was 1, 2, 3. He can only go 1 more space, so he's going to be stuck here. But he still gets to roll to get rid of this last house card. And he has 1 flea, and he gets 3 hits. So East Anglia has been captured by Rollo. Now that guy went 1. He could go 2 more spaces, but I don't think his force is big enough to take on these guys here, so he's not going to go any further. Alright, so then they draw 2 more cards. They got Feigned Retreat and Northumbrian Discord. Now, this can't really be used anymore, I don't think. Before resolving this battle in any of the northern shires of Carlisle, Durham, York, or Manchester, the Thane and Houseclaw units resolve 1 battle dice roll against each other. Well, it could be useful. If these guys like went up here to try to take out Halfden's force here, then they'd have trouble. And then they got Feigned Retreat, which is any battle, which is a useful card. Before the battle, the English army resolves 1 battle dice, counting only the flea results. I don't really know how useful the card is, I guess. It seems like it's useful because it can be used in any battle. A lot of these are specific. The Thanes get to go. They get to bring Alfred in. First of all, they get these reinforcements in, and now we'll put the guys that have back on the board. Leicester, Oxford, Canterbury, Chelsea, Winchester, and Exeter. Well, Alfred's going here. I mean, to me that's a fairly obvious thing. Defend that. Defend that. Alfred is going to leave that guy and 2 behind. I think we are bigger than Rollo, so we'll go to London. We've got to figure out what card we're going to use. Now, we could use our treaty. And the whole idea behind using that is we take London back. That puts the pressure on the Vikings. They have to capture 2 cities with Rollo and with using the red chip to do it. I think it's probably it advantageous for us to do that? I mean, I guess he could go and hit here. That would be 1. And they don't have, well, I'm cheating, I guess, by looking to see what they have. But can't take York back. I mean, we could try for Litchfield, but yeah, what the heck? Put the pressure on him. 2 armies move 3. So that's one this guy moves afterwards. So 2 armies move 3. I think we're going to go 1 army. Is it 2 armies move 3? Ugh. Yeah, so it's not enough. So we're going to defend. So it's just going to be him. And he's just going to come up and take London back and face off against Rollo. That's all he's going to do. Well, since it's only 1 territory, I don't really think it's useful to use the Viking force right now, because that's a huge army. So we won't. Here are the Vikings. 1 flee and a command, and they can't command anywhere. And all they need is 1 hit. They got 2 hits, but they do get 1 Thane to flee. So 2 hits takes off the Berserker, and London is Alfred's again. I'm not going to leave anybody behind right now. I'm just going to stay put. And now the pressure is on the Vikings. They need 2 cities to win the game. And Black can't do anything. Norsemen are done, so it's up to Red. And they're going to go last. So Blue gets to go. There's only 1 Housecarl left for reinforcement. We can go take on Rollo. Should we have like an epic battle between Alfred and Rollo? Like the final fight of the game? The thing is, if it doesn't go very well, then they could capture 2 cities and win. And like he could get 1 here probably. And then if I lose this, then he could come and take out Rollo or London and get the second one and win. So it's almost better that we force them to come to us. So we'll put it down here, because the way I figure it, Rollo's going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to have to go to Oxford. And then he's going to have to go to here. Or, I mean, he could go either one of those other 2. If we move guys out of here, then that weakens this. We could try to take out Litchfield. But by doing that, I don't know. It might open it so Rollo could go up north and get the 2 cities like right in here. So, I think the smart move would be, we only get to move 3 armies 1 space. So, we're going to move 3 armies 1 space. I think we need to move up to Oxford to put up some resistance. That's 1 army. Just in case they didn't come out below though, so even boats wouldn't get me. So 2, 3. Not that that's going to really do much good, but so there is Blue. Saxon Navy. Okay, we're going to choose 6 territories that the Vikings cannot use boats to, because we don't know whether the Vikings actually have the card or not. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here, Vikings can't sail there. That's one of the cards. Oh, I can't even do that. Huh. The reason I can't do that is because I didn't draw a movement card. So you have to shuffle them all up again. There's only 4 left. And then draw them. And I got a movement card. So yeah, okay, we did get Saxon Navy. So that's what we're going to do. We're putting our Navy on the southern coast to stop them. That's during the English battle. We can't use that. That is, it's called Alfred's Gambit. It says, before each battle this turn, draw 1 feared card that joins the English. So, we're in defensive mode because the pressure is on the Viking players' turns. So, Rollo, we got 2 armies that can move 3. That's all we have. 2 armies that can move 3. That really, really, really... Oh, it's possible. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It is, you know what? This is actually a possibility, because what can happen is Rollo could leave a guy behind. He could go 1, 2 and hit one of these 2 armies. And the army that's the weakest right now is Litchfield. And then Halfred, he can go 1, 2, pick up 1 guy and go to here, which is Halfden, hitting Hereford. So that's like, it's all up to these 2 fights. So now, this is during the Thane movement, can't use that. This is during the English turn, can't use that. There's no offensive cards. There's only a defensive card for Viking Fort. So this is it, it's up to these 2 battles. It was probably not a good idea to try to play the treaty to end the game, I guess. So the first one we'll do down here, because it's the one that's probably the easiest. 4 feareds come in to defend. If the English win this, then it's pretty much game over for the Vikings. If the Vikings win this, then Rollo's got to succeed at Leicester. This is the last turn of this round, and the treaty was played, and so therefore the war will end. And, oh, I don't draw it yet. Okay, so here, 2 yellow and 3 green. And the rolls are dang good. That's not good for the Vikings. So 1 Thane retreats and 4 hits, in which one of them has to be a berserker. There's only 2, and by the way, I picked up an extra guy on the way. There's only 2 Vikings, but they do get 2 hits. It's not over yet. Okay, so we got 2 yellow and 2 green. If they roll like they did that one turn, and I shouldn't even have said that, because they did exactly that. So 1 Thane retreats, and 1 feared retreats. And then there's a command away, but they can't use it. There's only 2 Vikings remaining in this force. And he gets a hit. Wow, the Thane, who's still there, gets a hit. They're down to one Viking. And can he do it? He doesn't. He commands away. The Thane commands away. The Viking commands away. The Thane flees. Oh my word. That was like as close as you can get. So Hereford is controlled by the Vikings. They're only 1 city away from winning. It's all up to Rollo. How many feareds are going to be in here? 3. So 3 feareds. This is the final turn. So 2 yellow, 3 green because they maximize their dice. Can they defeat Rollo in the Battle of Leicester? And not such good rolls. Wow. Wow. So one Thane retreats, one Housecarl retreats, two Feards retreat. They do get 2 hits, so one of them has to be a Zerker and one of them has to be a Viking. And they command away, which they don't want to do. So Rollo's got a full allotment of dice rolls. He only gets 1 hit. The rest of them are command dice, which he could do, but why would you want to? So Feared goes away. So we're down to 2 Thanes and 1 Housecarl. It is the odds are against the English right now. 1 Thane flees. They can command away, but they don't want to. Full allotment of dice rolls for Rollo's army. Can he do it? So first of all, he gets 3 retreats, 3 flees with 3 Norsemen, but he does get 2 hits with the remaining 2. So he gets this city, goes on here, and their turn is finished. And it's Viking victory, exactly 9 cities. Wow. That was a really close game that I played against myself, right? I mean, I couldn't have wanted anything more than that. I don't know how you could have done anything differently. I mean, Alfred's card was, I think, move 1, 3 armies, 1 space, so he could only go here. So he couldn't go. He couldn't go attack him. What they should have done maybe is not played the second half of that treaty and just tried to get 1 more round. But then there would have been 2 more Vikings coming in the last 2 rounds. Who is remaining? Who's still sailing out in the water? Yub and Guthrum. Yub and Guthrum are still sailing out there and raiding. So it comes out to be a Viking victory, just barely. And but Alfred held Saxony, or held Wessex, and Alfred also, the only place that the Vikings really got to, I think, were these 2, Canterbury and London. Other than that, they fought in the north almost the entire time. So they've taken Anglica, East Anglica has been taken by the Vikings, and then all of Northumbria and part of Mercia. A little bit part of the coast is still owned by the English during the treaty. This is probably not how it. I think it was more like this was the actual Danelaw. But I like the game. I mean, it's not that doesn't take that long to play. You're playing with other players, of course. You're going to be looking at your cards, maybe taking a little bit longer than what you see on the video. But it's fun. It's a fun game. It's entertaining to me, anyway. I would like to again get the other 2 that I know exist. One of them is the French Indian War, and the other one is the Revolutionary War. So that is this game right here, which is Vikings, or 878 Vikings by Academy Games. Thanks for watching. Old Man Sarge, out.